Okay, starting back with Ezekiel chapter 16 verses 33, probably going through chapter 17 because these chapters are kind of long, so probably only get a couple chapters in per clip. They give gifts to all whores, but you give your gifts to all thy lovers, and hire them, that they may come unto thee on every side for thy whoredom. And the contrary is in thee from other women in your whoredoms, whereas none follows thee to commit whoredoms. And in that you give a reward, and no reward is given unto thee, and therefore thou art contrary. Wherefore, O harlot, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered, through thy whoredoms with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children which you did give unto them, behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers with whom you have taken pleasure, and all them that you have loved, and with all them that you have hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness. And I will judge thee as a woman that breaks wedlock and shed blood are judged. And I will give thee blood and fury and jealousy, and I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare. They shall also bring up a company against thee, and they shall stone thee with stones, and thrust thee through with their swords. And they shall burn thy houses with fire, and execute judgments upon thee in the sight of many women, and I will cause thee to cease from playing the harlot. And thou also shalt give no hire any more. So will I make my fury toward thee to rest, and my jealousy shall depart from thee, and I will be quiet, and will be no more angry. Because thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, but have fretted me in all these things, behold, therefore I also will recompense thy way upon thine head, saith the Lord God, and you shall not commit this lewdness above all thine abominations. Behold, every one that uses proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is her daughter. Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loathe her husband and her children. And you art the sister of thy sisters, which loathe their husbands and their children. Your mother was a Hittite, and your father an Amorite. And thine elder sister is Samaria, she and her daughters that dwell at thy left hand. And your younger sister that dwells at thy right hand is Sodom and her daughters. Yet have thou not walked after their ways, nor done after their abominations. But as if that were a very little thing, you were corrupted more than they in all thy ways. As I live, saith the Lord God, Sodom thy sister has not done, she nor her daughters as you have done, thou and thy daughters. Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good. Neither has Samaria committed half of thy sins, but thou hast multiplied thy abominations more than they, and have justified thy sisters in all thine abominations which thou hast done. Thou also, which have judged thy sisters, bear thy own shame for thy sins, that thou hast committed more abominable than they. They are more righteous than thou. Yea, be thou confounded also, and bear thy shame in that thou hast justified thy sisters. When I shall bring again their captivity, the captivity of Sodom and her daughters, and the captivity of Samaria and her daughters, then will I bring again the captivity of thy captivities in the midst of them, that you may bear thy own shame, and may this be confounded in all that you have done, and that you are a comfort unto them. When your sister Sodom and her daughters shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughters shall return to their former estate, then you and your daughters shall return to their former estate. For thy sister Sodom was not mentioned by thy mouth in the day of thy pride, before thy wickedness was discovered, as at thy time of thy reproach of the daughters of Syria, and all that are round about her, the daughters of the Philistines, which despise thee round about. Thou hast borne thy lewdness and thy abominations, saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord God, I will even deal with thee as thou hast done, which has despised the oath and breaking the covenant. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then shall you remember thy ways and be ashamed, when you shall receive your sisters, thy elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and you shall know that I am the Lord. Hey, Arthur, come on, go to bed. Kaylee's trying to start trouble. Lost my place, sorry. When I shall bring again their captivity, the captivity of Sodom and her daughters, and the captivity of Samaria and her daughters, then will I bring again the captivity of thy captives in the midst of them, that you may bear thy own shame, and may be confounded in all that you have done, and that thou art a comfort unto them. When thy sister Sodom and her daughters shall return to their former estate, and Samaria and her daughters shall return to their former estate, then you and your daughters shall return to their former estate. For your sister Sodom was not mentioned by your mouth in the day of thy pride, before thy wickedness was discovered, as at the time of thy reproach of the daughters of Syria, and all that are round about her, the daughters of the Philistines, which despise thee round about. You have borne thy lewdness and thy abominations, saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord God, I will even deal with thee as thou hast done, which you have despised the oath in breaking the covenant. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then you shall remember your ways and be ashamed, when you shall receive your sisters, thine elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and you shall know that I am the Lord, that you may remember and be confounded, and never open thy mouth any more because of thy shame, when I am pacified toward thee for all that you have done, saith the Lord God. I think I'm going to stop here and read chapters 17 and maybe 18. Yeah, 17 and 18. Stay tuned.